Hey everybody, my name is Elijah. Welcome to 85 Studios YouTube. As a kid, I always loved the Nintendo 64, and the Nintendo 64 was just awesome. I mean, it may not have the greatest graphics as compared to today, but the video and the gameplay and the controls were just absolutely amazing. And I always I had a problem with it. We had, growing up, we weren't super rich or anything. We had one TV, and basically it was in the front room where we could only play it when, we played it in front of our mom sometimes and that kind of stuff. But some games like Shadow Man, Duke Nukem, some of those were just kind of nasty, and she didn't like them. So I always wanted to have a second TV in the house where we could play the video games on and that kind of stuff. Well, eventually, when I became a teenager, got a new TV in my room. Then I started thinking, okay, well, these games are really cool and everything, but is there a way that I can possibly do anything unusual or different with them? Because it was my nature to always be taking things apart and putting things back together, modifying things and making them my own, right? And that was just me. I was kind of this mad scientist kid, that everybody was like, Didi, get out of my laboratory, that kind of thing. My mom supplied me with these project kits and stuff from Radio Shack, and, she'd give them to me for birthday presents and stuff like that. And I'd always tinker and play with them and that kind of stuff. And eventually I got to the point where, I mean, this technology, this didn't exist back then. They didn't even have smartphones back then. It's just old stuff. I think I started in like 1993 with my project building stuff. After that, I wanted to figure out a way that I could modify a Game Boy in order to make it into a Nintendo 64, but then I tore one apart. There was a friend of mine's because we couldn't actually afford one, and I promised him I wouldn't break it, and I looked at it, and I got to doing some little electrical tests on it and stuff, and got to see what the chips were and stuff. Went to the library and used their computers to kind of look at what the chips were and that kind of stuff, what they did, how they work, get some data sheets, and discovered that there is no way that I could do that. So then eventually what ended up happening was I gave up on the project and decided, okay, well, it's not going to happen for a while. Well, I graduated high school in 2004, class of 2004, and went to college at Red Rocks Community College in Lakewood, Colorado, for computer technology, animation, graphic design, and animation. I've got MCSE, C+ certification, and I've got my network provisioning, A+, and C+ certified, MCSA, MCSE. So went ahead and took another course and ended up becoming electrical certified, and became a journeyman and was working out there in Colorado for a while. So then I learned a lot about, I already knew quite a bit about basic DC and AC systems, electrical systems, and that kind of stuff. Learned even more about things like GFCIs and stuff like that, and used that periodically in my basic electronics and stuff like that. And then got to taking apart more and more electrical boards and stuff like that. Started working with SMD and digital chips and stuff like that are basically a combination of multiple different circuits all combined into one to make one thing happen. Basically, it's like an all-in-one box of one circuit that is a digital circuit designed to do, or an analog circuit for that matter. Some of the older chips from the 80s and that kind of stuff are still even analog circuits, but I didn't know much about them, other than the little bit that it talked about NAND gates and latch circuits and Schmitt triggers and op amps and stuff in the kits that my mom had provided me for my birthday and such. Well, I can't believe how far technology has actually come. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, in college, the college years were important because that's when I discovered Project 64. And I used to carry it around with a bunch of ROMs on a flash drive. And then that's also when I got my first laptop, 2005, 2006. And it was a crappy little HP Compaq NX6325 with a AMD Turion 64X2 TL50 in it, 1.60 gigahertz processor. Nothing even comparable to what I have here. This is the Intel Core i7. Intel Core i7 4790K Haswell Devil's Canyon, overclocked to, I think I've got it clocked to 5.4 gigahertz, and then I'm water cooled. I've got my 3 monitor setup here on my desk, so yeah, it's definitely a different animal than what I used to have. And then we didn't have the YouTube channel running. I think I was running another YouTube channel back then called Red Yoshi 1985, because again, the video game thing. It's just always been kind of a nerdy kind of smart guy, you know. The technology has come to the point where this is the point where I can actually do something that I've always wanted to do, and that is make my tablet into a Nintendo 64 emulator. And it's really easy, actually. Now, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I got to punch in my code here and unlock it. Basically, this is an Android tablet, and that's a picture of my lovely puppy girl there, Miss Sapphire, as my wallpaper. So I've divided my tablet up into, because I can't stand to be disorganized. Holy hell. I can't stand to be disorganized. So I've put everything in folders. Now, when I've got my Google apps here, you see the Play Store right here? This one right here? Now that's the Play Store. And what I was actually looking for was Project 64. But they didn't have Project 64 available. Now there's another one that somebody came up with, a different development team entirely. It's called Muppen, M-U-P-E-N 64. And they actually made a version of it that could go on Android. So, and it uses stock ROMs. So basically, all of the ROMs that I had from my college days, I had saved up on a USB drive, like a big drive, a MyBook or what have you. So I went ahead and I downloaded this, M-U-P-E-N, search, and it's gonna be, I think I have the AE free one. But see, this is gonna be, it's gonna be this top one right here. You can't see it. It's gonna be this top one right here. I believe that's what's installed. Yeah, see, it's installed, and I can just open it, basically. Let's go ahead and open our, I have it under games. It's going to be games, and it's right here. So we'll click that, and that's going to open up Muppen 64 Android, and it's going to give me the options to, it's going to let me choose a ROM, which I actually have my ROMs on here. I've actually stored them in my system memory here. So, and one of them's actually the one I was playing earlier, is actually Super Mario 64. So we're just going to click play on it. Let's see, launching. Okay. And there you go. You've got your Super Mario 64. Now it is a little bit glitchy, especially in terms of like audio and that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a controller, I'm going to turn the volume down here so you can hear me. It's not letting me. Okay. So in terms of not having a controller hooked up, it does have on-screen controls here that you can use. But if you wanted to, you could actually go to Amazon and buy one of these. And what this basically does is it hooks into your USB charging port and gives you a connection where you can connect, like, say, for instance, a controller. And these are just the cheap Logitech controllers that you can get, like, at places like Amazon, places like GameStop, eBay, you name it. And I believe there's a sticker still on this. This is the Logitech W705. Logitech Dual Action W705. Or it could be VV705. I think it's VV705 actually. And all this does is it's a USB controller. It plugs into here. You just plug them together like that. Only problem is you don't have a charging port, so you can't play this while it's plugged into the wall, but it makes it portable. And then you just plug it into your charging port. If I can get it right side up. Watch, it's complicated. Make sure that you get the one that fits your tablet, because there's different ones. That's the other thing. Okay, so that's plugged in there. And then you can turn on your screen, which I just shut it off because I couldn't adjust the volume. I locked it. But it should be back on that screen when I start back up. Okay. Yeah, see, I can hit resume. It automatically paused the emulation. Okay, so we're back here. And then you got to set up your controller in settings, but I've already done that. So I'm using this as a start button. I'm using this as A, this is B, this is your C buttons on your controller. Everything adapts out, and then the left control stick is your is going to be your joystick, and then your D-pad is going to be just, I think, look around, or you can actually swap these by pushing analog, which, yeah, and then I'm using this one as Z, R, and then L on the other side, left tab. So now we can actually, and I've got this neat little case here so I can actually try to do everything by the camera. See, I can set it up like a picture frame. So then I can play the game with the controller, hit start, and I've got a file on here. And I'm already there, so everything's pretty much functional, you know. And this battery on this one, it'll last for a long time. It actually it'll give me like 4 or 5 hours of battery life, and I can take it pretty much anywhere with me that I want to play, and it will let me play it. So that's pretty much all there is to it, other than finding the ROMs. And I will tell you, there is a website that does allow you to download some ROMs for free, but not all of them. Like, you won't be able to get Super Mario 64 or a few of the other ones because of the MPAA regulations. But you can find certain other Nintendo 64 ROMs that will work for it. And that is coolrom.com. COOLROM.com, and you can also find emulators for your PC or what have you there, also for Windows or Macintosh or what have you. And they actually have Project 64, which is a little bit less glitchy, but I mean, I can see, you know, it's Android, so I don't really expect a whole lot from like open source type stuff like that on Android and that kind of stuff. So it is a little glitchy, especially with some other games. Some of the games, they don't work at all. Some games have plug-in issues. Some games have video issues. Some games have audio issues. But other than that, I mean, it's not horrible. It's playable in most situations. Anyways, other than that, I'm Elijah. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to, if you like the content, hit like on the videos that you like. Let us know that that's what you want to see in the future. And if you like the channel and you want to see more content from us, be sure to hit subscribe and click the bell notification for more. Remember, guys, be true to yourselves.
Yeah, let's go. I'ma make a couple stacks, do exactly what I want to. Mix a couple tracks, get a lady that I'm drawn to. Turn up to the max, get me faded till I'm gone, dude. I do what I want, couldn't stop me if you wanted to. I just work hard, yeah, harder than the rest. Some people say I'm lucky, others saying that I'm blessed.